flashback time right now in Eden Zero. So we got this chapter, chapter 39, the Genius Hacker Spider. I predicted that we'd get the backstory for Hermit soon, but it seems like it's going to be much more of a sad story than I figured. I saw it more like it was going to be potentially much more of like a cruel, maybe aggressive backstory. This one looks like it's just going to be sad going into it. So the chapter starts out, we have Ziggy talking to the four Starshines, saying how, he's going to go raise Shiki, and the four Starshines are free to go do whatever it is that they want. They're separating, and they can just, go live their life however they feel. And Hermit just talks about how she wants to go with Ziggy, and Ziggy's like, if you want to go with me, then that's fine, but I don't think that's what you want to do. And meanwhile, Hermit just says that she wants to go be friends with humans. You actually see, she looks so happy in these panels in the flashback. She just looks like she's just a genuinely really kind little robot. And then meanwhile, back in the present time when everyone's waking up, Hermit just kind of like wants to leave, and her body just isn't used to herself because of the fact that she's, she hasn't been moving a whole lot. Which kind of makes me wonder if they're supposed to be like full robots, or if they're like cyborgs, if they have, are they supposed to have muscles, or is it maybe like some form of living kind of robot, much more of like like a transformer or something, where they're, even if they're robotic, they were kind of created organically or something. I don't know, but it's just kind of a sad kind of sight to see like her friends, like the people that actually know her, look at her and she just looks completely defeated, just broken down, just barely functioning of who she actually is, versus the other people that just met her that only kind of see her as this depressed state, But everything seemed like it was kind of like wrapping up, and maybe they were going to have to kind of work their way further with Hermit, maybe further over time. But everybody's just like kind of like chilling out, coming out of the Digitalis, and they're like overly sweaty in those suits. Like I was a little bit curious about that. Not just like, oh yeah, it's probably really hot there, but like I feel like there's an extra component to that. Meanwhile, poor Pino's so depressed that she's got this sad little robot body again. I wonder how long it's going to be until she actually gets like a cool robot body, because maybe that's something that we'll see, is how like robots like Sister, Hermit, and Witch all have these very human-like bodies, or at least seemingly alive, and maybe at that point we'll get Pino to have one. It was definitely noticeable during the arc when she'd like look at her reflection and how happy she was, and now she's back in this, very minuscule like little mechanical body, and she's just not happy about it. Especially like as of we've seen her kind of like start to like analyze and try and figure out like human emotions, and try and figure out how thinking and like feeling can differ from like straight logic and like statistics. Remember we saw her like when they were trying to leave Gilst, and she was just like, if we leave now, we have this percentage of getting out of fine, but if we we stay around for these people, it's only a this % chance we'll find them, and even if that point, there's only this % chance that we'll get out after that. And obviously they're like, no, we're not going to just leave. You gotta save our friends, so we're just gonna risk it anyway. And she's just like, that doesn't compute, doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but sure. But at the same time, she was trying to figure it out, which was again nice humanizing for this little robot. And not only do we see it emotionally through views people have on each other, but now she's kind of having it on herself after pretty much getting to that whole mindset of being human for a short period of time. But while Shiki, there's actually a really funny part here, because Shiki runs off to go talk to Hermit. Obviously, his super aggressive friendliness, but they get this like emergency protocol over the ship, and we actually see the guy as his name, the Genius Hacker Spider, who just looks like this basement kind of like hangs out in the dark. He's fully accepted that like stereotype of living in your pretty much computer room and just never coming out. Your life is now connected to this computer. And it's actually, it's not just that he comes off this stereotype, but at least it works for him, because I guess he's one of the 5 like top hackers in the cosmos. At least that's something for him. He made a 10 billion gree from hacking. I don't know if we have any comparison to what that probably is. Assuming it's like yen, that's like what, $100 million. Pretty impressive. But he's actually who Jamilov. That's really what he looks like. And I actually really like the contrast sometimes you get when you have this really like pretty hardcore, edgy looking guy like Jamilov, but in real life, he's some smart, nerdy guy that probably wanted, a badass looking character. Understandable. I think a lot of people, how that is. You want to have a really cool character in a game. He sees it. But he's obviously hacking into the system, and from what we know, the only person around that could really deal with this is Hermit, because she's already shown to out-hack him. But I actually really liked when he took over the ship, and he's like pretty much messing with his alt controls from his remote location, and he's like having it do flips and stuff, and just kind of like peer around in space, and everyone else is like just like bouncing off walls and hitting shit, and Shiki just is floating in zero gravity. Like, I don't see what the big deal is. Oh wait, maybe, I don't know. I'm fine. It was pretty good. I just like Shiki's like expression. I was like, is this supposed to be intimidating to me? I mean, like, I get it, Shiki, it works for you, but it doesn't work for anybody else. But obviously, they're gonna have to go and get Hermit to pretty much like get out of the funk to secure the systems of Eden Zero, because we already know that not only is she, this really good hacker and programmer, but she's in charge of the security systems for Eden Zero. But now this dude, Spider, he's just completely pretty much making areas of the ship like self-destruct by like heating up components and areas like higher than the systems are supposed to be. So obviously there's like system malfunctions and probably like electrical fires, and I guess in this would be like more ether fires from the equipment that they have. But looking dangerous, and obviously we know they're gonna have to help Hermit, and Hermit's gonna have to, well, they're gonna have to help Hermit get out of her funk so she could go and help them and save the ship so they don't all die. But that's where we kind of get further into her backstory, and that's kind of what I was talking about, because I figured her backstory would be like she experienced like mean humans once, like bad people. There's always those rude people that want to take advantage of the kind innocence of others. But she's talking about like, I guess, like these guys who pretty much asked her to help them with they said an ether accelerator, and they're talking about like saving all these machines, and they look pretty friendly, and you can see the look on her face. She's very happy because she's genuinely very excited to help, and because she thinks she's doing something good. So it won't be just kind of like I experienced how bad humans are kind of thing, or just bad people. It's going to be like tricked into doing something extremely horrible, and then, not only is it you see bad people, you are also responsible. So it's probably going to be really sad on her part, and just that destruction of innocence probably like hit her something fierce. So we'll get that probably in the next chapter, chapter 40, playing C7. We're not that far off from a full year of Eden Zero. What was it, July? It's April now, so just a couple more months, and we're gonna have that whole circle around. So look forward to that. But other than that, I thought it was a pretty interesting chapter. I like the reveal with the hacker Spider. Had that kind of realism with some really good computer nerd, and online he seems fierce and dangerous, but in reality he's maybe not so much. I mean, unless it's related to computers, then he's clearly a fierce foe. Meanwhile, I really like the part with Shiki just kind of floating in zero gravity while everyone's messing around, and I am both like looking forward for the story wise of everything that happened with Hermit, but at the same time, it's going to be really sad because it's different when it's like a character like experiences like, man, I knew this was going to be bad, but it was worse, versus like raw innocence and that happiness of just like pretty much you're thinking you're helping. Again, that very, very pure like kindness that it's probably going to be like twisted into something way more malefic. And I'm wondering if that's where the whole like the idea of the arc being way more sadistic than the other arcs were, because we obviously had we had that warning at the start of the arc, and we had a little bit with Jamilov like killing the NPCs and some of the player characters in a little bit more brutal ways. Probably get away with it a little bit more because they're all like data and stuff. But I feel like this backstory is definitely going to add on to that, and it's going to be a really sad one. So tell me in the comments section what you thought about this. I'm getting a little more excited. The last couple chapters I've been enjoying, but I haven't been as hyped for. But I'm actually really hyped for this for her backstory. I think it's going to be really good. But other than that, I really appreciate if you would thumbs up the video, befriend the like button and the subscribe button, and check out my other videos. But other than that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.